Hey, Rodabon.
Yeah?
Do you like rolling?
Yeah, I like rolling.
You enjoy it, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Well, you shouldn't spin at me.
Well, I would never do that.
Really, don't spin at me.
I really don't plan to.
Don't spin at me!
Then fine, gosh darn it, I'm coming!
You silly brute wyvern!
Ladies, gentlemen, and monsters of all ages, welcome back to one of the coolest mechanics in all of Monster Hunter, Turf Wars. When a daddy monster and a mommy monster love each other very much, they find each other on the map and engage in primal combat. Every single one of these is awesome to see happen. No matter the time or situation, it always makes me just sit back and smile while I watch, and in Iceborne, I've been sitting back and smiling a hell of a lot. So without further ado, here are my top 5 Turf Wars in Iceborne.
Number 5, TIGREX versus BRACHYDIOS.
Oh no, counterattack with whatever you feel like, man.
Wait, hold on, what? Venusaur with a question mark.
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
Dude, come on, man. Fuck! Venusaur!
Starting off then with two fantastic and beloved returning monsters, here we have a showdown of epic proportions resulting in a contest of brute strength. BRACHYDIOS shoulder tackles TIGREX real good, only to be pounced on and rolled over a couple times before TIGREX gets a real good chomp down on his neck. This one is in a very interesting position for me. I absolutely love how it makes TIGREX look. It absolutely fits him and does exactly what a good Turf War should do, and it enhances his wonderful, aggressive, and hungry personality. It shows it off perfectly. However, unfortunately, that is what carries this Turf War, because BRACHYDIOS' end of it is pretty sad, honestly. Now, this Turf War has the same animation with most brute wyverns in the place of Brachy, but I wanted to focus on this one because of the big missed opportunity. BRACHYDIOS in this Turf War doesn't do any punching of any kind. BRACHYDIOS doesn't use his slime at all. He just ignores his two most powerful options and goes for a shoulder tackle of all things. Thankfully for TIGREX, his part in this carries the Turf War completely, but god damn do I wish BRACHYDIOS had a bit more input in the whole thing, because BRACHYDIOS is supposed to be just one of the most powerful monsters. I mean, he one-shots an Ignactor, for fuck's sake. Why doesn't he use any slime or punches in Iceborne Turf Wars? I want to see something die outside of a cutscene. Either way, as a whole, I do like this Turf War quite a lot, and when it is attributed to a different brute wyvern, I think it works fantastically, and the amount of TIGREX's characteristics that are shown in this short little fight still make me very happy, which is why this Turf War has still made it to number 5 on my list.
Number 4, CLAVENUS versus DIABLOS.
We're not so different, you and I.
Diablos and CLAVENUS. Honestly, who thought this would happen? Put your hand down, I don't believe you. How it happens then is CLAVENUS manages to snipe around and grab Diablos by the neck, throwing him headfirst to the floor with some serious impact, and then, just when CLAVENUS thinks he has totally, absolutely won, Diablos scoops him up with his horns and suplexes him over his head. Honestly, looking like he maybe took a lesson or two from his Turf War with Deviljho and Base World. Now, the most interesting part of this Turf War is that neither monster involved properly uses their main weapon. CLAVENUS doesn't even think about using his great sword tail, which is of course different from a great sword tail. Diablos in turn does not use his horns the way he normally does. He does use them, but not, for piercing. I can count the number of times I have seen a Diablos lift with its horns on one hand, but here he is, right in front of us, picking up a goddamn CLAVENUS and lobbing it over his head. And you know what? For a Turf War with neither monster's signature attacks, it's fucking awesome. Honestly, I don't even really mind that they don't use their weapons in that way, because the way that they choose to fight instead is just great to watch, fun for the whole family, unless your family is a family of cacti, and they are, of course, deathly afraid of Diablos. It's the fact that the Turf War itself is awesome, combined with it managing to be that awesome without the signature attack usage, that does in fact put this Turf War at number 4 on my list.
Number 3, LEGIANA versus BARIOTH.
Hey man, is it cool if I roar?
Yeah, sure, go ahead, man.
What the hell, man? You said I could roar!
Nerd.
When LEGIANA and BARIOTH get in a room together, the temperature drops below 0, and not just because of how cold they both are on a physical level, because they are also very cold on an emotional level. Ever since BARIOTH's father wrong story. When the LEGIANA and the BARIOTH entangle in a beautiful dance of death, the LEGIANA first picks up the BARIOTH with its claws, lifting him into the air, only to let gravity do the hard work and dropping him directly on his face. In response to this, the BARIOTH pounces right on the LEGIANA, knocking her over completely, and winding up with him on top of her in a position that can only be described as but only on Tuesdays. From this position, the BARIOTH just does as any primal beast would do and chomps the hell down right around the neck region, dealing an unexpectedly large chunk of damage. Now, this animation is the same with any pseudo-wyvern at the helm, but with those three monsters specifically, it actually sort of works to have them share the occasional turf war, as they do have similar personalities and similar bases as monsters, and this one absolutely works. I mean, the savagery is just wonderful. The elegance of the flying wyvern grabbing with her talons before throwing BARIOTH to the ground is just nice, honestly. It's a wonderful turf war with nothing to complain about, landing it at the number 3 spot on my list.
Number 2, RATHALOS versus ZINOGRE.
Oh, hell yeah. ZINOGRE may be one of the final monsters that you actually unlock in Iceborne, but he is absolutely worth that wait. Every single part of him, including, you guessed it, his turf wars. This one with RATHALOS is particularly interesting too. ZINOGRE starts with pure, unadulterated aggression, diving a paw slam right at RATHALOS, who dodges it expertly, only to use his claws to grab ZINOGRE by the back of the neck and straight up smash his face into the floor. Like, this brutality is the monster equivalent of a curb stomp. This RATHALOS is no joke. The ZINOGRE, obviously not a fan of this, shakes him off and slaps him nice and hard with his big fluffy tail, doing his own nice chunk of damage in return. This turf war is awesome, and surprisingly the real reason that it's awesome isn't even actually ZINOGRE. As exciting as it is to see him in every situation that he is, it's RATHALOS. Wraths are known to be one of the most intelligent non-Elder Dragon species there are, and right here, RATHALOS is showing it beautifully. The accuracy and quick thinking to dodge, and in the very same motion also managed to grab ZINOGRE by the neck, and as opposed to most flying wyvern turf wars, he doesn't just pick him up and drop him on the ground, he straight up forces his face into the floor, using his own momentum against him as he's trying to escape the RATHALOS' grasp. To his credit, ZINOGRE's tail sweep does a ton of damage, and ZINOGRE in just about any situation will enhance it in some way, but RATHALOS absolutely steals the show here, no doubt about it.
Number 1, Savage Deviljho versus NAMIELLE.
Now this one is something special, guys. The reigning champion of my top turf wars and Monster Hunter World video, Deviljho, returns in Master Rank in his savage form to just be, well, extremely savage. To put it into perspective, every other turf war on this list is awesome, but in comparison to this one, they may as well be dung pods. Savage Deviljho comes right up in NAMIELLE's business, and they initiate with a tiny grapple that shows a surprisingly even physical makeup. What follows, though, is the stuff of legends, a straight-up beam battle, the Master of Torrents versus the Dragon Pickle. It is worth noting that Joe has the same turf war with every other elemental Elder Dragon, so beam battles are just waiting to be seen wherever you live and wherever you hunt. The beam struggle, of course, ends with Joe's unstable energy exploding right in the middle of both of them, dealing a ton of damage to both monsters and ending in a tie. Normally, I would accept this as a tie. However, given what Savage Joe is and how Savage Joe is, I have to say the technical victory probably goes to him. He eats anything in his way regardless of his own safety, so his own Dragon Blast being what damages both monsters seems pretty much like a pure Deviljho victory to me, at least in spirit. This turf war is quite possibly the best looking one in the entire game. The lore idea of a Savage Deviljho taking on an Elder Dragon and standing his own, the way it ends, honestly, this one is just pretty much the holy grail of turf wars, and the fact that you can see it relatively often just all come together to make this one my number 1 turf war in Iceborne. Alright everyone, I've been Cotton Dinosaur, and these have been my top 5 turf wars in Iceborne. Do you agree with my choices? Which monsters do you wish had turf wars? Like if you like the video, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more, and most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, stay sweet. This is the brand new outro to tell you all the things that you do that we love, so let's start with something simple and say, oh, we love your eyes. When they're watching us play video games, when we make a bunch of jokes that are kinda lame, or when they gaze upon our failures as we try to kill the monsters or report important news about the kingdom and Amelia. Rage, Cotton, and Hollow are all here, talking about the things you want to hear, so if you want to be the first to hear, like and subscribe and the bell and we'll cheer. Some of you are patrons even though we are all the noobs and you're the pros. There's nothing we can do to thank you. No, really, there's nothing we could possibly do. Goodbye.